A guy who moved out recently used to feed the birds on a daily basis, and I saw them looking lost and forlorn around this kids' trampoline that we feed them on, or he used to feed them on. And yeah, my sister's sent me a little surprise. It's an extremely big and heavy packet of birdseed. Wasn't quite expecting that, but yeah, you'd be surprised how heavy that is. Now, the last thing I want to do is play the old soldier, as my mum would put it. But I do get very fed up in life with going above and beyond in any given situation, and then a very obvious concern appears well above all that stuff that you do below ground level, as it were, and all hell breaks loose. And you don't find yourself wanting to defend those tiny little things you do. Because if you start saying, well, I do this and I do that, and if it wasn't for me, this would happen. It just all seems so minute and petty, but it's when you put all of those tiny things together that you realise that when the sum of its parts are combined, you do one hell of a lot to maintain a situation, a workplace, you know, all of those things that all of us have been through at some point in our life, where we have found ourselves feeling very defensive and very kind of hurt that no one seems to notice all the things that you do. And I would imagine if anybody can get past the sort of difficulties I'm having with explaining myself here, so you know what it's like with current situations. I don't want to go too deep, but I have the confidence to speak about things when they're happening a lot more these days, because I've learned to only speak when I'm very, very sure of myself, and I know that I'm not in the wrong, as it were. One of the things that you notice when you age is when you come across people, meet them for the first time quite often, and it's not a doom and gloom laden thing, that you are drawn to talking about the things that bind you in the pains that life has bestowed upon you, or you've bestowed upon yourself in your time. And when you're younger, you tend to sort of talk about what binds you in the sense of your likes, your fantasies about how you want to be perceived, your taste in music, taste in women, all of it, you know. As you get older, what tends to unite us is the pain, or the lack of ever being noticed, that we share and understand. The amount of times I've met people who have got to a certain age or a certain point in life, and they've had divorce, breakup, male, female, and they want to tell you, here's the amount that was me, here's the amount that I did. And it would be exactly the same if you met their ex-partner, boss, you know, they'd have their own interpretation of these situations. But they're desperate to tell you and just to be listened to with regards to how they feel about how underappreciated they insist that they've been. And I can relate to it totally. You know, I go on enough about the darker sides of my character, but I'm fully aware of what and who I am these days. I know what the light and dark of my character are. I know what I'm fighting. I know what I'm dealing with, and I know what the joys are of having a person like me around. You know, I know both sides of it, and I'm certainly confident in both of them. And I make a lot more apologies for ever sort of talking about my lighter side, my more jovial side, my more charitable side, and that's a shame, really. I think we're so used to everybody being so wrapped up in ego that we think it's all a sort of marketing tool for selling our character, selling our brand. But it's a uniting force that we seem to have got to a certain point in life and just seen so much of our product being underappreciated or discarded without a thought, having given so much, and it's not easy. I witnessed something recently about diversionary tactics when something happens in a domestic environment. It really made me think, gave me pause for thought about my own behaviour. I live in a relatively small room. and I'm forever spilling things as a result. You know, leave a can on the floor, I accidentally kick it over. Last weekend, I got up, tapped a can, went as it almost tipped all over the floor, and about 5 minutes later, my daughter stood up and managed to kick the can over. And I said, how did that happen? You know, completely selfishly forgetting about the complete and utter useless bastard I am, and how regularly I just throw stuff all over the bloody place. I've had to buy a cheap carpet cleaning solution with a brush that's attached to the top of the pot. That's how regularly it happens, and it gets used about sort of twice weekly. And my daughter is just, as a self-defense mechanism, she told a little white lie, and she said, oh, you knocked it over ages ago. And why was she doing that? She's generally an honest soul. She's doing that, but she knows exactly how angry I'm going to get. You know, I don't lose the plot or anything, but it just gave me pause for thought. She just doesn't want to go through that routine of Dad spilt something again, but I've done it the once, and he's going to react like it's him doing it again, you know. And I apologised to her and said, look, I'm sorry, I do it so much that I just get angry with myself, and then pretend it's you I'm angry with, you know. I try to explain it to the best of my ability. And there are so many situations in life where people will do that. They will go into self-defense mode and claim that you were the aggressor, let's say, in a situation, just to cover their backside, because they just know what your reaction's going to be, you know. And so all this gives me pause for thought. I don't want my daughter to feel like she can't come and talk to me about something, I'll be honest, but my behaviour with how regularly in a small room, and you know, the other aspects of life that get projected into any misdemeanour that occurs, you know, I might appear to be all sort of relaxed and chilled when I do these videos, but you know, when I'm talking about getting angry, I mean I get angry. You know, my daughter never sees anything ugly of my character at all. You know, we're the best of friends, but there are times where I do boil over, and I'll say, why did you do that? When it's, you know, somebody I would talk to in the shop today, a girl at the till, made me think about something, and I said to her, because she said, oh, I've been telling my mum all week that it's going to rain on Saturday, and I've come to work at Sainsbury's, the supermarket, haven't bought a coat or anything, so I'm, you know, hoping this weather improves by the time I go home. And I said to her, oh God, join the club. I'm always criticising people for stuff that I'll happily do myself, but when I'm doing it, oh, it's for different reasons, you know. And I thought, yeah, you're so blissfully aware of these sides of yourself that you hate in other people, but you willingly do it yourself, aren't you? Other people do something that you do, but you know why, you're justified. You know there's no malevolent intent. You know, there's just so much where I catch myself out and find myself doing things that I've got real issues with when other people show that exact same behaviour. But it's not all about me being hypocritical. Sometimes it's other people who choose to slam you straight between the eyes with hypocrisy. Somebody who you've confided in and told your deepest, most anxious reality. That got on my glasses, it did, didn't it? Nice splash, wasn't it? They know about your anxiety and depression, and through a situation where there's just a lot of misunderstanding, you say to them, could you just intervene, because you know the truth of this situation, and just make my day a bit easier. And you know, they're a person who has chosen the ways of God and Christ to find peace in this life. I have no issues with that. I'm not of those belief systems myself, but you know, that's another story, who cares. But you can see with modern technology, when you write to somebody and say something, it tells you, seen. If it's WhatsApp, you get a tick next to the message if they've seen it. It's now 6 in the evening, 2 PM this afternoon. I said, please sort this out, take a second out of your day, put your Bible down and do something practical, put your benevolent attitude of the Christ consciousness, put it into action and make my day a bit better. 2 PM you send a letter, 6 PM still nothing's been done, you know. Put your Bible down and put your philosophy into some kind of action, yeah. Theology, I guess, in this case. But you know, we all do it. It's an awful feeling when we're the one floundering in the kind of pond of life, just thinking, please, somebody help, somebody notice that this isn't right. And we all do it sometimes. We just think, I've got other things to do, thanks. And you know, I've learned through my own bitter experience, when you're going through something like anxiety and depression, just how much this comes back to haunt you. You know, I know with my relationship that ended last year, I was less than sympathetic with regards to that woman's psychological issues that appeared over the years. PTSD, as it turns out. She's been very public about this. I'm not breaching any confidence by talking about this. And you know, now I've lived to tell the tale of what it must felt like of when I just didn't go and ask how you're doing, didn't intervene and just do stuff. There's one particular occasion when we were at my parents' house that I regret deeply, where I could so easily have just held her hand and said, it's okay, don't worry about it, come on. But I chose to just think, I've had enough of this. This is affecting my life so badly, your mental issues. That I was in front of people and had a bit more bravado about me as a result. And I was very callous and selfish at a very dark moment in somebody's life. And you know, I've begun to realise what it's like now. And I can see and understand why people turn their back sometimes, because I've been that person. But now I'm on the receiving end of it, and I need a little bit of leeway from time to time. I guess that's why we confide in people. We hope that maybe they will be a helping hand at times when things are a little bit too difficult for us to handle. Or, you know, that's what friendship's about, isn't it? It's intervention. It's one of the small things that a friendship is about. It's intervention and saying, look, this is the reality of what happened. Just back off from the guy that you think has maybe wronged you. And you know, what do I get from all this? I become a little bit more sympathetic and a little bit more hard on myself with regards to just giving people time and not immediately jumping to the conclusion that they're just being obstructive or awkward if they don't just fit in with everybody else. And yeah, I do a buttload of fucking extra work behind the scenes to keep life ticking over cleanly and pleasantly for everybody I live with. I don't want thank yous, but when shit arises in that environment, I would like to be given the memory of the doubt and the benefit of the doubt that I'm a very trustworthy person in that environment now. But no, people just jump to conclusions that are completely ill-conceived and have no basis in reality. And yeah, in life, as I say, our boss gets or our supervisor gets all the pats on the head when we work our butts off while he's or she's doing next to nothing in a work environment. We have to deal with it on a very regular basis, where people are taking the glory or jumping into criticising you for stuff that they're negligent for, or taking the glory for things that were really designed and created by your hand. But sadly, the hierarchy of life requires a boss or a supervisor to be the one who is doing all the hard work. Anyway, I hope this has made sense to somebody. I really needed this today, and it's done me the world of good. Anyway, God bless and take it easy.